The 992.2 Carrera T, one of only 2 ways you can get a manual transmission in a production 911. For 155 grand as tested, you get the GT3 shifter, Carrera S brakes, GTS suspension, but the base engine. So either this is a huge scam or a revelation in a dense lineup of 911s. Let's go find out. So, not the cheapest 911, not a GT3, not even a Carrera S. It is a unusual object. It's pretty much been redefined since the .1. There's a lot of critical things here we should talk about, so let's get on the road. What I love is you roll off, the first thing you feel when you shift, it's not that incredibly short shifter action from the GT3, a welcome addition. It's the lack of interference from the ECU, from anything from making the car sing and dance. Listen to this. This goes a long way here. It is this engine, this flat six, this 3-liter twin turbo, which is plenty potent, very powerful. 388 horsepower, 315-ish pound-feet of torque. Oh my God. There's a few things that have changed since the .1 Carrera T. Actually, quite a couple significant things. So first thing before I get to the exciting stuff is now this has the GTS turbos, which is actually quite exciting, to be honest. So it's the GTS turbos on the base 3-liter engine, which is good for what I said, 388 horsepower. The second most important update is that this is not the 7-speed anymore. It now has the 6-speed manual, and it now has the shifter assembly and cables from the GT3. That is key to this experience. Oh my God. This shifter, can only be described as God tier. Just listen to this when I click it out of gear. Oh, that's so lovely. It's also balsa wood shifter. 917 nerds know that means quite significant things in the land of Porsche. It has GTS suspension, Carrera S brakes from the 992.1, the 992.2 got bigger brakes, and of course lightweight glass, rear seat delete, all these things in the name of saving weight. So this thing weighs just 3,316 pounds. That is unbelievable for how lovely it is to drive and how easy it is to live with. It feels really quick, but more critically, it's the responsiveness in the corners. It's that special something you can't really quite describe when you're transitioning and taking corners as much as you like. Just down to the effortlessness of how it does everything, how it's just so perfectly mannered. But unlike the Carrera S I drove yesterday, and actually like a lot of the bigger 911s, this thing dances and moves. It's alive. It's supple enough that you feel things happening in the body, but it's stiff enough that it's well controlled. It's powerful enough that I feel not like I'm not lacking in responsiveness or torque, but it's not so powerful that it overwhelms. It still feels so in tune with the chassis. And then the highlight, the absolute highlight of this car, besides the 6-speed manual, is this steering. This is another step for Porsche power steering. I'd contend that this steering is nicer than a GT3's steering rack. so smart in here. It's so nice. The interior is lovely. I don't hate the new digital gauge cluster. It's actually really cool, really nice. I like it because the needle is quite alert when you're revving. You could see it, the engine sort of moving and doing all those micro revolutions and stuff like that. One thing I hate about this car is the start-stop button on the left. I hate that. Pushing a clutch in and then pushing a button on my left hand is weird. I want to turn a key. That is really strange. Otherwise, you have a effectively perfect sports car. You could ask for more power, you could ask for more RPM and more engagement in the engine, but really this is plenty. You could ask for more stiffness, but then you lose comfort and you lose kind of the friendliness that this has. So the big elephant in the room is the cost. This thing's $155,000 as tested. That's with the lightweight stuff, that's with the rear seat delete, Bose stereo, whatever, you name it. 155 grand, that's big money for a Carrera, isn't it? That used to be GT3 money. I mean, a Carrera S is now 150 starting. You can have 100 more horsepower for the same money. God, I hate to defend the pricing of this car because it is quite expensive for what it is. But I'm having a $155,000 experience. The balance of everything, the balance of the power and the steering and the chassis, this is really an all-time great. This is up there. I would have a hard time choosing between this and a GT3. You give me a day in a road, I feel like this has more versatility. It works better over rough pavement, a lot better over rough pavement. It's engaging and more usable and more tractable than a GT3. And I'd still want to take this one home at the end of the day. The GT3 would tire me out. As much as that 9,000 RPM, incredible. Love that. I miss that in this car. But this is real up there. This has that engagement. This has that aliveness. And it doesn't have what the GT3 has, which is that hooked up feeling. It's always glued, fastened to the pavement. This moves and dances on its tires. That's really lovely. This is not only one of the better 911s you can buy right now in the current lineup of the 992.2. This is a high watermark for 911s in general. What a machine. The 911 Carrera T. Unexpectedly spectacular, as per usual, so I guess it is very expected. What I didn't expect was it to be one of the best 911s I've ever driven, bar none. 155 grand. I keep coming back to that number because it's quite a bit of money for a car with a base engine. Problem is, the experience lives up to every dollar. This is a special, special, special Porsche, and I'm happy that I exist in the same time as it's being made.